Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome. Today's topic is the 1995 Cleveland Indians MLB season. Another special shout out to Chris Lutit, Louttit. He has two videos on the 1995 Tribe, and the links are below. You might consider watching them. Okay, so the 1995 Tribe, they were back at Jacobs Field for their second year, and their record was 144. 56 games over 500. They finished in first place in the Central Division, the American League, 30 games ahead of the second place team, I believe the Royals. The baseball strike continued into 1995, and 18 games were lost at the beginning of the season. So the Indians won their first pennant since 1954. They lost the World Series against the Atlanta Braves in 6 games. They had the best record in Major League Baseball in 1995, the best record of any team. And the 100 victories at the time was the second most in team history after the 1954 Tribe. Of course, I believe last year they broke that record, had 102 victories. On September 8th, 1995, they beat the Orioles 3-2. Behind Orel Hershiser, and that clinched the Central Division title. The team attendance record, they set a team attendance record of 2,842,725 fans who came to games, which broke the 1948 record. They won the division, as I said, of 30 games over the Royals, the largest margin in American League history. Now, in 54, back in 54, if you finished in first, you went to the World Series. That was it. There were no playoffs. But by 1995, we had these two hoops to go through to do so. And in the ALDS against the Red Sox, we swept them in 3 games. The first game was at Jacobs Field and went 13 innings. And there was a couple rain delays. The game ended at 2 in the morning when Tony Pena hit a home run on a 3-0 pitch. And then they won the next 2 games 4-0 and 8-2 to advance to the ALCS, the American League Championship Series, against the Seattle Mariners, which they won in 6 games. Game 6 was Dennis Martinez, Julian Taveras, and Jose Mesa beat Randy Johnson 4-0. And so that was, and that's the game where Kenny Lofton scored from second on a wild pitch. Yeah, very exciting. Now, the Indians' winning percentage in the regular season was .694. Really, really good. 600 is good. In the World Series, they faced the very tremendous pitching staff of Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, and John Smoltz. Those 3 guys were tremendous starting pitchers. They lost the first 2 games in Atlanta. Game 3 at home in Jacobs Field, they won in 11 innings when Eddie Murray had an RBI single which scored Carlos Baerga. So that we hadn't won a game in the 54 World Series. Game 4 we lost 5-2, and that put us down 3-1. And then in Game 5, Orel Hershiser beat Greg Maddux 5-4. So we were still alive. And then the series went back to Atlanta for Game 6, which the Braves won 1-0 on a David Justice home run against hit-off Jim Poole. So the 1995 Tribe. Now, a common lineup for the year was Kenny Lofton leading off, tremendous leadoff hitter. Omar Vizquel second, Carlos Baerga third, Albert Bell the cleanup hitter, Eddie Murray fifth, Jim Thome sixth, Manny Ramirez seventh, Paul Sorrento eighth, and Tony Pena ninth. So what an incredible lineup the Indians had that year. After Game 6 was lost, Dennis Martinez said this, quote, We don't feel good about losing, but we gave Cleveland a lot of joy, and I think the fans know, as we know, that we accomplished something. So yeah, it was a good year. It was a tremendous year, one of the best years in Indians history because they were a tremendous team, an amazing team, and now the owner for the 95 Tribe, again, was Dick Jacobs. His brother had died, so he was the sole owner. John Hart was the general manager. Same thing. He was continuing. The coaching staff, everybody, there was no new guys. Buddy Bell was back, the former Cleveland Indian. Louis Isaac with his mustache. Charlie Manuel, who helped, was such a tremendous batting coach. Dave Nelson, who helped the guys steal bases. Jeff Newman. And Mark Wiley, who actually was back again. He was the pitching coach. He did a really good job. And our manager was Mike Hargrove. Very good manager. Now in the field, Albert Bell was in left field, and he hit .317, tremendous average, 50 home runs. Wow, 126 RBIs, and 52 doubles. The only time a guy in MLB history has had 50 home runs and 50 doubles. He was on the All-Star team, and he actually led the league in doubles and runs scored and home runs and RBIs. So had one of the greatest seasons in MLB history. And he won the Gordon Cowldick Golden Tomahawk Award. An incredible year for Albert Bell. Kenny Lofton was in center, hit .310, 7 home runs, 53 RBIs, led the league with 54 stolen bases. He also led the league with 13 triples, and he also made the All-Star team. Lofton was a tremendous player, and having a leadoff guy who could get on so much and steal bases was wonderful. Manny Ramirez was in right, and his career was starting to blossom. He had .308, 31 home runs, really good, 107 RBIs. And here, as I said a while ago, he was, batting down in the order. He was only batting 7th in the order. Incredible. Jim Thome at third, hit .314, 25 home runs, 73 RBIs, and he won the Frank Gibbons Steve Olin Good Guy Award. So his career was developing as well. Omar Vizquel at short, with the tremendous glove, tremendous defensive shortstop, hit .266, 6 home runs, 56 RBIs, and 29 stolen bases. Yeah, so he could run. Carlos Baerga at second, .314, very good, 15 home runs, 90 RBIs, that's a lot, 11 stolen bases. He made the All-Star team. Another amazing year for Carlos Baerga. Paul Sorrento at first, hit .235, 25 home runs, 79 RBIs. Yeah, and here he's batting 8th, and he also had a very good year. Tony Pena was the catcher at .262, 5 home runs, 28 RBIs. Eddie Murray was the DH, hit .323, really good, 21 home runs, 82 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. Tremendous year for Eddie Murray. Now the bench players, we had Wayne Kirby, who hit .207, 1 home run, 14 RBIs, and 101 games. So he saw a lot of action at different positions. Sandy Alomar hit .300, very good, 10 home runs, 35 RBIs in 66 games. So Alomar, I believe, had injury problems again. Alvaro Espinosa, .252, 2 home runs, 17 RBIs in 66 games. Herbert Perry hit .315, very good, 3 home runs, 23 RBIs in 52 games. Now we had Dave Winfield, the mighty Dave Winfield. He hit .191, tough year for him. He was hurt, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 1 stolen base in 46 games. Winfield was from St. Paul, Minnesota. He was a free agent pickup. Had an incredible career for the Padres, Yankees, Angels, Blue Jays, Twins, and Tribe. This was his last year in baseball. From 1973 to 1995, he had 3,110 hits, 465 career home runs, a 12-time All-Star, won a World Series with the Blue Jays in 1992, inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2001. He went to college at the University of Minnesota, and he was on the 1972 Golden Gophers basketball Big Ten title team, college basketball player, drafted by the San Diego Padres, the the Hawks in the NBA, the Stars in the ABA, and the Vikings in the NFL. Of course, he had played many years for New York for the Yankees, and George Steinbrenner disrespected him by calling him Mr. May, which was very unfair. For the 1992 Blue Jays, they called him Mr. J. Yeah, Steinbrenner called him Mr. May because he had a game-winning double in the 11th inning, which won the World Series, and in that game 6. So they called him Mr. J. In a 1994 trade, we picked him up in a 1994 trade from the Twins for a player to be named later. No player was ever named, so the Tribe and Twins executives had dinner, and the Tribe executives paid. So he was paid. Winfield was traded for dinner, the only player to have that happen. He had a rotator cuff injury in '95. That's why he couldn't play very much. He worked as an ESPN analyst in philanthropy. The David Winfield Foundation has done an awful lot of good. In 1983, he hit and killed a seagull while warming up. He was throwing the ball and hit this bird and killed it. And he was arrested, charged with cruelty to animals, posted a $500 bond. In subsequent years, Toronto fans would flap their arms when he would come to bat. And after that incident, he said, "I am truly sorry that a fowl of Canada is no longer with us." So, Eddie, it was fun having Dave Winfield on the Tribe that year, although, yeah, he was hurt. Ruben Amaro had 200, 1 home run, 7 RBIs in 28 games. Scooter Tucker had a batting average of .000, 17 games, 20 at-bats, 2 runs scored. So his name was Eddie Scooter Tucker. He's from Greenville, Mississippi. Catcher, played for the Astros and Tribe. And this was his last year in the big leagues from 1992 to 1995. 126 career average, 1 home run, 7 RBIs. And he's currently a Tribe minor league manager for the Carolina Mudcats. Scooter Tucker. Jesse Levis hit .333, 0 home runs, 3 RBIs in 12 games. Jeremy Burnitz hit .571. Wow, in 9 games. He had 4 hits and 7 at-bats, a double, and 4 runs scored. Burnitz was from Westminster, California. We picked him up in a trade from the Mets. He was right fielder, played for the Mets, Tribe, Brewers, Dodgers, Rockies, Cubs, and Pirates. Had 315 career home runs. Really good. He was a 1999 All-Star with the Brewers, and he was a very good in the clubhouse, very friendly and laid-back guy. In a 2006 interview, he apologized for his failure to run out a ground ball while playing for Pittsburgh, and he said, quote, "I'm your highest paid free agent. That in and of itself should tell you the big picture that the team is in." So he had a good sense of humor. Jeremy Burnitz. Billy Ripken was on the Indians. Hit .412 in 8 games, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. He was 7 for 17. Ripken was from Havre de Grace, Maryland. He was a second baseman. Played for the Orioles, Rangers, Tribe, and Tigers between '87 and '98. For his career, he hit .247, 20 home runs, 229 RBIs. They called him Billy the Kid, the younger brother of Cal Ripken Jr., who broke Lou Gehrig's consecutive game streak. He's currently an MLB Network analyst. On the '87 Orioles, his father, Cal Ripken Sr., was the manager. And then his brother was the shortstop, and he was a second baseman. Sadly, his dad was fired after 6 games, so they were only had that arrangement for a short time. He really played all out and was often injured. We picked him up as a free agent pickup. Brian Giles hit .556, 1 home run, 3 RBIs in 6 games. He had 5 hits and 9 at-bats. Giles was from El Cajon, California, an outfielder for the Tribe, Pirates, and Padres between 1995 and 2009. He had a .291 career average, 287 home runs, 1,078 RBIs, 2-time All-Star. A former girlfriend sued him for $10 million and she alleged that he abused her. The court verdict that the girlfriend, Cherry Oliveira, and Giles both committed acts of domestic violence against each other, so no damages were awarded. Brian Giles had a tremendous career. We ended up trading him. David Bell had an average of .000, 2 games and 2 at-bats. Bell was from Cincinnati, Ohio, played for the Tribe, Cardinals, Mariners, Giants, Phillies, and Brewers between 1995 and 2006. A career average of .257, 123 home runs, 589 RBIs. He's the son of Buddy Bell, former Tribe player, and Bell was a coach that year. He's the grandson of Gus Bell, who also played Major League Baseball. He was a AAA manager for the Reds. In 1998, he hit the first inside-the-park home run at Jacobs Field. In 2004, he hit for the cycle in a game. That means a single, double, triple, and home run. His grandfather, Gus, also did that. And they're the only grandfather-grandson team to hit for the cycle. He coached for the Cubs and Cardinals. He's currently the vice president of player development for the Giants, and we traded him to the Cardinals for Ken Hill on July 27th. So he was gone. And among the pitching staff, Charlie Nagy had a very good year. He was 16-6, 4.55 ERA, 29 starts, 2 complete games, and a shutout. Dennis Martinez also had a tremendous year, 12-5, 3.08 ERA, 28 starts, 3 complete games, 2 shutouts, and he made the All-Star team. New pitcher was Orel Hershiser, who was 16-6, very good, 3.87 ERA, 26 starts, 1 complete game, and a shutout. Hershiser was from Buffalo, New York. He was a free agent pickup. This was wonderful having him on the team. He played for the Dodgers, Tribe, Giants, and Mets between 1983 and 2000. He won 204 career games, more than 2,000 strikeouts. He was a 3-time All-Star, won a World Series with the '88 Dodgers, and was the World Series MVP. He set the MLB record by pitching 59 consecutive scoreless innings. He's currently working as a professional poker player. He won the '88 National League Cy Young Award. He's worked as a ESPN analyst. He had a fierce competitive spirit, and he was called Bulldog by his manager for the Dodgers, Tommy Lasorda. In college, for Bowling Green, he threw a no-hitter against Kent State. And he in the Dominican Republic Winter League, he was almost arrested because Friends Fireworks hit a a general for the Dominican Republic's his house. And his teammate Manny Mota intervened, so he was not arrested. In the 1995 ALCS, he was the MVP, winning 2 games against Seattle. He currently resides in Las Vegas. He's an active Christian. In 1988, Johnny Carson talked him into singing hymns for the audience. It was wonderful having Orel Hershiser with the Tribe. Mark Clark was 9-7 with a 5.27 ERA, 21 starts, 2 complete games. Chad Oj was 8-3 with a 3.05 ERA, 20 games, 14 starts, and a complete game. Bud Black was 4-2, pitched in 11 games, 10 starts, and a 6.85 ERA, pretty high. Ken Hill was 4-1 with a 3.98 ERA and 11 starts. Hill was from Lynn, Massachusetts, pitched for the Cardinals, Expos, Tribe, Rangers, Angels, White Sox, and Devil Rays between 1988 and 2001. He was a '94 All-Star. He won 117 career games, had more than 1,000 strikeouts, and we picked him up in a trade from the Cardinals on July 27th for David Bell. Ken Hill. Jose Mesa had an incredible year. He was 3-0, pitched in 62 games, had an ERA of 1.13. Incredible. He had 46 saves. He made the All-Star team, was the Indians Man of the Year, and won the Gordon Cobbledick Golden Tomahawk Award. That was one of the best seasons in the history of baseball for a relief pitcher. An incredible year for Jose Mesa. Eric Plunk was 6-2 with a 2.67 ERA, 56 games, and 2 saves. Paul Assenmacher had a very good year, 6-2 with a 2.82 ERA, very good, 47 games. Assenmacher was from Detroit, Michigan, a free agent pickup. Pitched for the Braves, Cubs, Yankees, White Sox, and Tribe at a record of 61-44, 807 career strikeouts. He worked as a pitching coach for 9 seasons for the St. Pius X Catholic High School in Atlanta, Georgia. Paul Assenmacher, wonderful bullpen pitcher. Jim Poole was 3-3 with a 3.75 ERA in 42 games. Poole was from Rochester, New York, a free agent pickup. Pitched for the Dodgers, Rangers, Orioles, Tribe, Giants, Phillies, Tigers, and Expos between 1990 and 2000. Was 22-12 for his career, a 4.31 ERA, 256 strikeouts, and he was the losing pitcher in Game 6 of the '95 World Series. So that was kind of tough. Julian Taveras was 10-2. Very good. 2.44 ERA, 56 games, all out of the bullpen. Jason Grimsley had no decisions, a 6.09 ERA, 1 save in 15 games. Dennis Cook had no decisions with a 6.39 ERA in 11 games, and on June 22nd, he was traded to the Reds. Paul Shuey was 0-2 with a 4.26 ERA in 7 games. Albie Lopez had no decisions with a 3.13 ERA in 6 games. Greg Olson had no decisions with a 13.50 ERA in 3 games. Olson was from Scribner, Nebraska. Pitched for the Orioles, Braves, Tribe, Royals, Tigers, Astros, Twins, Diamondbacks, and Dodgers between 1988 and 2001. It's 40-39 for his career, 3.46 ERA, 588 strikeouts, 217 saves. He's the all-time Orioles save leader with 160. And he went to Omaha Northwest High School in Omaha, Nebraska, won 4 state titles. In his senior year in the state championship game, he threw a no-hitter. He had a devastating curveball, which he called Uncle Charlie, kind of like the movie Major League when Rick Vaughn named his pitches. And he was a free agent pickup. John Farrell had no decisions, a 3.86 ERA 1 game. Joe Roa was 0-1 with a 6.00 ERA in 1 game. Roa was from Southfield, Michigan. Pitched for the Tribe, Giants, Phillies, Rockies, and Padres and Twins from 1995 and 2004. Had a 9-16 record and a 4.94 ERA, 154 strikeouts. They called him the Roa Constrictor. Backing up to Greg Olson briefly, Olson was the American League Rookie of the Year in '89. He's in the Orioles Hall of Fame. In 2002, he had a very strange save. He threw 49 pitches, only 22 for strikes. He walked 6 batters in an inning and a third. But he got the save. He's currently a Padres scout. So the 1995 Cleveland Indians, wow, what an incredible year. You know, after it had been 41 years since 1954, we won the division, we won the first round, we won the ALCS, we won 2 World Series games. So we're really a memorable, wonderful year for the Cleveland Indians. They didn't win the World Series, but they won an awful lot of games, almost 70% of their games. A lot of comeback wins at Jacobs Field. It was an incredible year for the Cleveland Indians. So the memories can always be cherished for all those guys. God bless all the fellows who played for the Tribe in 1999 and everyone else associated with the team and the fans. Captains of the Cuyahoga, lovers of Lake Erie, Terminal Tower Power, Tribe Rules, Cleveland City of Champions. It's been 70 years since 1948. This is our year. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.